Hey everyone, here again with John Apolinar from Scottsdale Scoop. Stoked to have him. He is crushing it in the space, doing a lot of great things, and excited to dig in with him on some more of the stuff that's been new with him. So thanks for being here, John.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Always stoked to come on board and just kind of riff with you. And yeah, thanks for the invite.
Of course, happy to have you on. I'm still jealous that I don't live in Scottsdale. One of these days.
One day.
All right, one day. Okay, so let's get into events. So I know you have been talking about hosting a paid event, and would love to hear some of your thoughts on planning it, what stage you're at with it, and just kind of everything that's gone on so far.
Yeah. So the event, it's next week. So
Okay.
it's in the works. It's happening. It's concrete. It's real. People have signed up. I have a sponsor for it. So it's a lot of work, but I think there's a lot of good that's going to come out of it. I just think events are so powerful for like any local media company, like being able to be there in person and put, like a face and a personality behind, this digital newsletter brand. Like it's just super powerful to be there in person. And I feel like once I have this track record from this first event, like it's going to open the doors for a lot of events. I'm already getting a lot of like initial interest of people wanting to do events now. Uh, I've been kind of putting the brakes on, like, let me just see how this one turns out first and like see what I need to kind of fix before I start like pitching them really big. But yeah, it's going to happen. I got a sponsor, a pretty big injury attorney here to sponsor the event. So what they're basically paying for is like the venue space and the drinks for the attendees. And then what I'm doing to monetize it is I'm charging a ticket fee for everyone that signs up. And so far, I've made, I want to say just over $500 from tickets. So it's not small. Yeah, I have 37 people registered uh, as of today. Yeah. And tomorrow there's going to be another newsletter inclusion that goes out. So I'm probably going to get more tomorrow just because I'm putting a little more into like, hey, this is next week. If you want to come, like register now. But yeah, I mean, it's going well. We'll see how it goes the day of, but it's just a happy hour. I kept it really simple. Just like, hey, come out, grab a drink, win some raffle prizes that the sponsors giving up. They're giving up like sweet tickets for sporting events, and gift cards for local restaurants. Also doing like a donation drive for like a local nonprofit just at the event, like in the background. Like, hey, if you want to come out and donate, like feel free to. I just figured as long as we have like all these people here, like we might as well do something like good for the community too.
Of course. No, that's really cool. So how exactly are you pitching it? You're pitching it just as kind of a free happy hour event, way to meet your neighbors, or like, yeah, what is the pitch specifically for people? What are they seeing?
Yeah, so it's paid. But basically
Mhm.
what I'm saying is, hey, come out. Here's a chance to meet your neighbors. Here's a chance to meet people who are also in Scottsdale that care about what's happening in our community. If you register now, you'll get a free drink and an inclusion to the raffle prizes. So that's the
Yeah.
way I'm kind of like pitching the paid portion, and then they're just going to a landing page for the event with like a paid ticket sign up. Um, and that's really it. Like it's pretty just like trying to keep it as simple as possible. This event.
Yeah. For the first
Yeah.
one, you want to have it as simple. And by the way,
Yep.
you casually mentioned the suite tickets. I think I remember you mentioned this somewhere else. I mean, you're talking
Yep.
about like a suite at a professional sporting event. I mean, aren't those
Yeah.
like 20 grand or something for a game, or 10 grand? Like,
I don't
that's a
know
lot of money,
how.
right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know they're a lot of
Yeah.
money. I know for a fact they're a lot of money. I don't know how much it costs, like the sponsor, because I'm pretty sure they just buy a season for like the booth.
Yeah, they do that. They get it for a season. It's like, well, they
Yeah.
already have it, and if they're not going to use it, or they
Yep.
sometimes I think of those type of companies. They buy 'em with this intent is to give them away to their good clients or for giveaways and
Yeah.
things like that. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
but
was
it's
cool
still
for them to offer
to
it
an
up.
end. Yeah, to an end, to somebody. If I saw that, that would totally make me want to
Yeah.
go. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
awesome.
mean, I'm stoked they came on board. I pitched, I
Yeah,
was pitching them like $1,200, and they're like, look, like I get it. I just can't go to like my boss with a $1,200 budget for an event like we haven't done before. So she's like, most I can do is like 500. I was like, okay, that'll cover the venue costs. So like, let's do that.
okay.
Yeah,
What about the drinks? You said you're covering a drink for somebody. Are you covering
yeah,
that?
that's part of the venue cost.
Oh, the venue
Yeah,
covers that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And this is at that really nice hotel, one of the really nice hotels in Old Town Scottsdale, right? So this is
Yeah,
not a rinky
it's
dink setup. This is in a big spot.
the W. Yeah, the W is
Yeah,
super cool to like give us the space at a pretty big discount. They're basically like, we won't charge you for like the actual event space itself, but we do have to charge like labor and drinks.
it's the minimum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're like,
Which
we
I
at
mean,
least do it. Yeah.
yeah.
But they're cool.
Okay.
They're like, you know, like, yeah. And I've been going back and forth with them, just like making sure like everything is ready. I'm actually going to go and Wednesday and just check out like the physical space that we have and see how it's going to be laid out. That way I can just go back to the sponsor and like make sure we have everything we need from their end to make everything smooth as possible.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So no, this sounds really cool. I'm excited to hear how this goes. But I think you already mentioned something I'm interested. It's interesting that you're already getting kind of inquiries into doing this again or doing this. Are the inquiries coming from like other people wanting to sponsor it, or people who want to saying, "Hey, I can't go to this one, but I want to go to a different one"? What are you hearing already?
Yeah, so these are coming from the newsletter itself. I have like a sponsorship form on the newsletter, and people, businesses are reaching out saying like, "Hey, I see you're doing an event like this month. We kind of want to do our own event." Funny enough, I just had Rivian, like the dealer, like the electric car manufacturer, like reach out, and they're like,
Oh
"Hey, like we
wow.
have a big office in Scottsdale. We saw you doing an event. Like we'd love for you to host an event at our place. We'll pay for it. We'll pay you to do it." So I'm actually going in this week to kind of talk through that event with Rivian. Yeah, it's
That's
cool.
crazy. That is
It's cool.
that's so cool. And by the way, I'm glad you said that too. As far as like, okay, I know you were having trouble finding locations because Scottsdale's so popular and so
Yep.
such a great place. People who haven't been there, that people even on a slow day don't want to give you access, hold a spot for you for free. When for me, like in a lot of places, they
Hmm.
would happily do that, right? They would jump at the chance.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of, you finally got one that, okay, you just have to pay for the drinks and the employees, whatever, that's fine. But
Yep.
there are places, again, Rivian being a perfect example, where they have space and they want people to come. So like they're going to pay you to bring people to their place instead of you having to pay. Right. And that's so cool. I mean, that's kind of what happened to me, although they didn't pay me. But when I did my AI training, I did it at one of the really nice old folks' homes that had a big place. And the reason was they knew my audience was going to be a lot of 35 to 55-year-olds who probably
Hmm.
have parents who might be looking for an old folks home. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
TJ and his thing is going to bring these people in whose parents might want to move here, right? So it's kind of a win-win all the way around. It sounds like you're finding that with Rivian, which is a
Yeah.
much bigger company than my old folks home. So that's really cool.
It's cool. It's funny, you say old folks. I'm a senior living center just sponsored the
Yeah.
newsletter as well.
Oh, really? I
For
mean,
this
it's a
week.
great
Yeah.
one for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
didn't pay
totally.
the
We have
most
a
money, full transparency, but they reached out to
yeah.
me. Or no, actually, I reached out to me a cold email and had
Oh,
a
yeah.
conversation with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just another example for anybody listening when who you should be targeting is senior living facilities, whichever type. There's like different types, but um,
Yeah.
their value is so high per client. Like if they get one or two in a year, like they're stoked,
Yeah.
and they know that their readers. I mean, our readers are again 35 to 60-year-olds who have parents who are in 60 to 80 who need that, and so
Yeah.
it makes a ton of sense. And they've got a lot of them. They have bigger budgets because their value is so high. So it can make a ton of sense. That's really cool, man. I'm
Yeah.
excited to hear how that goes. That's
But
that's
yeah,
kind
man,
of a fun business too.
I'm stoked. Like I'm just excited for like what events are gonna do for like my brand in particular. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to another wealth management company here, and I'm kind of like floating the idea of a really big event for like our second event together. So the first one I was like, let's just keep it easy too and like do a happy hour. So I have a meeting with them this Friday to kind of talk through that. But I was like, if that goes well, here's a big event with you guys. I want to hold like a Shark Tank style event to where I have like local investors do the panel, and then I have local businesses come in and need funding and pitch and see if those investors will fund any of the local businesses. And I want to do it at like a private estate somewhere, maybe in PV or big residence and stuff. So somewhere that can like a little more excitement. But I pitched them with that like just on the call, and they were like, "We would love that too." And I was like, "Yeah, me too. I don't know how I'd make it work, but it's a wealth management company."
Oh, wealth management.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is interesting to you, but there's a guy, and it's more on the startup-y side, but there's a guy who started a company that does exactly that here in Austin, where they go rent out or actually I think they're giving them for free, like homes that are empty, like these $10 million estates that are empty. They'll let them use it for a night, and they'll bring in investors, and then they
Yeah,
bring in a startup to pitch those investors. So like for the investors,
dude.
they get a really classy, nice, fun night at this big, really expensive mansion on the water.
Yeah.
And for the startup, they get to pitch these wealthy investors, and everybody has a good time. It's I think that guy is crushing it. I mean,
Can you send
absolutely
me?
crushing
Is
it.
he
So,
is he on Twitter?
yeah, I don't know if he's on Twitter, but the company's called Astronomic. I'll
I'm
send
gonna
it to you
look
later if you
this
want to look it
up.
up. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's crushing it. I mean, he even travels. It's crushes so much. He'll go to L.A., he'll go San Diego, he'll go to New York, and like do these.
Damn.
Literally, what you just
That'd be so
described
sick.
is his business. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And you know
it's
what's funny?
awesome.
I got this idea off of Claude. Like I just put in like, hey,
Okay.
give me a few really cool concepts that I could do that would like bring this audience of like small business owners and investors together, because like that's the wealth management. It's like ideal customer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been
Mm-hmm.
all six, and like that one was like, ooh, like that's a really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everything. Why people should be listening to this? Everything is going, or the rising tide of doing things in person is just only going to continue to grow,
Yeah.
and that's a great one, right? And especially
Yeah.
if you're doing in person for higher value audience, right? In terms of
Yes.
wealth management or business owners, I'm really fascinated with this idea. I was talking to my buddy Mike, who was on the show a while ago, about leveraging our audiences to build. I think I talked to you about this in Scottsdale about like building a much better BNI, like a fun, casual BNI for like
Yep.
being the brand in the circle for all local business owners to get to know each other, to share, to kind of be that cohesive presence there. BNI, for people who don't know, is like a business networking group local that is just, I hate it so much. It's just like so structured and
Yeah.
organized. You have to do this. You have to do this. If you miss a lunch, you're kicked out. And like it's just crazy. Can you build a more casual one that's fun and like provides value to people? I think there's a mix and match of everything we're talking about right here that could be
Right.
huge. And if you pull it off, you gotta let me know because I want to do it too.
Yeah. I think that's just the beauty
That's
of
really cool.
having like a newsletter. Like you can do
Yeah,
other
you
stuff
have an
around
audience.
it because you have the distribution and the trust built in. Like you have audience, trust, distribution built in. And if I want to start doing like events on the side, sure, I can just email my list, try to find like the right people,
Mhm.
get those events nailed down. And also you can use those events as like a source for growth too. Like I don't know
Yeah,
who it was, but there's a guy in New York who was like, he has like a huge newsletter. He got all of his organic subscribers, which is 100% of his list, all from like hosting events. That was his
really.
growth tactic. He didn't do ads. He didn't do content online. He just hosted events and would collect
That's
all his
great.
email addresses.
Oh, I know you're talking about Andrew Young.
That's who it is. Yes, yes,
Yes. Yep.
yeah,
That guy. Yeah, I've been to one or two of his events when he does it at South by Southwest. I mean, it's crazy what he's done. And again, I think there's a play. What we're talking about is just a smaller, simpler version of what he's done,
yeah,
right? He's
yeah,
super targeted for startups and high
yeah.
tech entrepreneurs. I think guys like us can just take that concept and just niche it down to local and just any business owner. I
Yes,
totally agree.
exactly.
Absolutely. Man, I hadn't thought about putting him again. I just think there's so much value in taking these other things that work and putting them, smashing them together, and then incorporating local, right? Like
Yep.
there's so much value there. If you think of even the cash drops, right? Feels very much like a typical Mr. Beast, like Instagram style stuff. And it's like, oh well, how do we niche that down into local?
Local.
It's
Yeah.
the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
I have a
that's
really
awesome,
good
man.
podcast idea too on like what I want to do. I'm not going to share it yet, just because I'm still like thinking through it, and I want to execute it first before I start talking about it.
Okay.
But also just like
You're
another
talking
idea.
about host a local podcast?
Yeah, yeah, like a
Is that what
local,
you mean?
but it's yeah, but very different than like what everyone else is doing so far that I've seen in the
Okay.
local space. It's very different, but I've
Well,
only
what?
seen it once in tech. I won't share too much, but
Yeah. Why are you telling me this? And then you're not going to tell me?
I'll
I'm
share. I
intrigued.
know I'll share like a little bit, but it's really just
Okay.
like basically the concept. I'm not going to share it all, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
such an entirely different distribution strategy to where I'm not leaning into like the podcast downloads because that's not really the
Mm-hmm.
value of what
There you
I'm
go.
going to build the podcast on. It's going to be an entirely different format, an entirely different distribution strategy, an entirely different way to pitch the sponsorship because those two things are different. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen it in the local newsletter space yet. No. So
So,
I'm trying to figure out a way to like make it work without costing me a ton of money to like start it, as
mm,
it so far it's looking like it might,
mm.
but just my idea. Yeah.
No, I don't even know what you're saying, but I like where you're going with this. Of it sounds like you're saying this does exist somewhere outside of local.
I've seen it
So
once in like
once,
the
and did it
tech
work?
space. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay. So if you're taking something that worked in the general space, and then you're now thinking that you have a way to make this work locally, I think that
Hmm.
makes a ton of sense. And then the fact that you're saying it might cost a bit, so you're a little scared at the beginning, that actually might be a positive because that's why nobody's done it and that's what keeping people away.
Yeah.
But once you do it and you prove it, you're not going to have any problem because you'll easily be able to get sponsors or whoever. So, I mean, maybe see if that attorney or whoever will sponsor the first one.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'd really need to make like seasons, I would say, for it, or like a
Okay.
package. Like it wouldn't work for like sponsors
It's
to
not a one
sponsor
time.
one episode.
Yeah. Yeah. It's for the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And the beauty of it
That's
is like
interesting.
I can have like 12 sponsors on one podcast episode. Like that's like the other
Mm-hmm.
value of it is if I can have multiple sponsors in it and it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't diminish like the fact because the distribution strategy is what's going to matter and like there's a way to pitch it. Yeah, it's we'll see.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
see.
is this something you think you're going to try to work on figuring out in the very near future? Or is this kind of one of those like sometime in the next 3 to 6 months type idea?
I would say 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6.
I really want to get to a spot where like the newsletter is like more monetized effectively. Like I'm getting sponsors now,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I closed like 3 grand last month. So it was
Okay.
a really good month last month, but then like this month is I've only closed say 500. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's talk about this. Tell me about sales. I know you posted something on Twitter about. I think you had either sold somebody doing something unique, or you were finding some unique ways to get in front of people. Tell me what's new in sales that could help people.
Yeah. So I'm basically I'm seeing some pretty good success with cold emails. I've come from the
Cold
cold
email.
email space. Yeah. I come from the cold email space already. So like I have a really good handle on just like the tech stack and like what's needed operationally to like make cold emails effective at scale and like how to reach out. So yeah, I closed 3 people last week via cold emails. Um, all lower ticket like sponsorships, like one offs, which I don't like to pitch, but like just kind of where their budgets needed to end up.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the downside of cold email. Like they usually haven't heard of you, so you're making the case, which means that the test budget is going to be smaller. But yeah, I'm using a tool called SmartLead. SmartLead is where I'm
Okay.
purchasing other domains because you don't want to send from like my domain is descasso.scoop. You don't want to send cold emails like from that because if people report it spam and hurt your newsletter, like deliverability too. So you
That's
want
right.
to buy other domains and put mailboxes on top of those domains and then send emails out from those. So 3 domains going out with 2 mailboxes each, so 6 mailboxes, and then sending like 10 to 15 emails a day per inbox. Yeah. And right now I've had 7 responses over the last like 6 weeks, and it's been picking up. Even like last week I had 3, so like I had 4 before that. But yeah, it's led to some revenue now, which is nice.
Yeah.
And it's yeah.
So tell me, I'm actually super interested in this because we're thinking about starting on this as well, doing the cold email. You know, I've dug into it a bunch for different reasons, and it does feel very like, not that it's the hardest thing in the world, but there's just so many moving parts and steps that it kind of gets overwhelming. With
Mm-hmm.
SmartLead, I've heard of it, but I haven't used it. I've used Instantly a little bit once. And again, I get confused of what each one does individually. But with SmartLead, let's just say, are you doing everything via SmartLead? Like, can somebody sign up for SmartLead and send 100 cold emails a day, or is it like SmartLead is just this part, and then you also need this part, and then you need a third software? Like, tell me the details there.
Yeah, so SmartLead is where you can buy the other domains, host the other
Okay.
mailboxes, and send the cold emails from. So it takes like that away.
So
That's the
all
hardest
that.
part, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
takes all of that away, which is nice. But you do need another tool to like find the local leads, or you can hire someone at Fiverr to like do it for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. You're talking about get the
Or
data?
get the
Is that what
data.
you mean?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So you need to have the data, like this is the company, this is the person, this is the email address.
Okay.
And you can either hire someone off of Fiverr, Upwork to do that, or you can use like a tool called Clay. Clay is pretty complex, but you can like scrape that info from Clay.
Yeah. Have you ever, speaking of Clay, I've heard a ton of times how Clay is just like the greatest thing ever. But I think the downsides are number one, complexity, and number two, cost. That is, it's kind of like if you can afford it and if you're able to figure it out, it's absolutely amazing. But I feel like most people don't get past both of those. Is that right? Do you know much about it, or is that
Yeah, I
accurate?
use it. I use Clay every day.
You do?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so I use it. I
Well,
use
tell me
it for
about
my day job too. So,
okay.
and like the B2B, basically you can just like, you can pull lists really quickly and append those lists for data. So like, it's not going to make much concert, much sense in like the local space of like the data. But like for my day job, I'm like going into like enterprises and pulling out like their 10K reports in Clay, having ChatGPT in Clay like read the 10K report and give me like findings where it relates to like what we can help with. And I can do that at scale for like every lead, 50,000, 600,000 people within seconds.
Wow.
And then so push it all into SmartLead, like with customized variables, so I can make every single email personalized.
Okay. So basically, Clay is amazing. It's just it's unnecessarily complex for what we're doing in the local space.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you're gonna need it too much for local.
Yeah. What do you do for the data then? Are you hiring people on Fiverr, or are you finding it, or what do you do for that?
I just use Clay, so I have like my own personal
because
account.
you already
Just because
Clay. So
yeah.
Well, so what would you recommend?
I would if I was like someone in our shoes that didn't have any experience using Clay or like outbound email in general, like hire someone on Fiverr. Pay them $100 probably to scrape you 1,000 leads. I would give them very specific categories of businesses there that you want to reach out to. And these are the ones I picked. Like I picked like lawyers, chiropractors, dentists, senior living centers, med spas, luxury, like home builders.
Custom home builders. Yeah.
There's a few more. I picked like very, very high ticket industries, like no restaurants, no bars, no clothing companies. Just very high ticket service businesses.
Totally. I would incorporate insurance agents in there for sure as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So basically, is SmartLead like a competitor to Instantly?
Yeah, I hate Instantly. It's garbage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for you, SmartLead is the best play here. That's all you need plus data. SmartLead data, you can go. Yeah. Okay.
The thing about Instantly is like, dude, they'll lock the paywall. They don't tell you this when you sign up. It's really shady.
Okay.
But unless you're on their highest tier plan, if someone responds to your email, there's no way to respond. You have to pay the highest tier plan to respond to the email that responds to you. It's shitty.
Okay. All right.
So SmartLead doesn't do that, thankfully. You can just use the inbox.
Good to know.
As you see fit.
That's awesome. What are you, because I know one of the other things with the cold email was a bit confusing was, okay, whatever SmartLead costs, I don't know, like $100 something. But don't you have to pay
$49?
Oh, is it 49? Okay, so 49, but then don't you have to pay like per box and per domain and all those things too, right? What is that?
In SmartLead, the domains are $15 a year. Okay. So I bought 3 of them, so it's $45 for the year. And then the mailboxes, I want to say, are $4 each a month.
Okay, so it's still, you're talking about, okay, this is a lot less expensive than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's less than $100 a month.
I did a demo with Instantly, and it was like $500 a month is what they wanted. Yeah, that was probably for like, well, that too, but also because I think we were talking about sending thousands of emails a month. So, okay. Well, man, to know that this is easier than I thought, and you're already having at least some success with it, it sounds like some people should try. It's not that hard, right? I imagine.
Yeah.
Like in terms of SmartLead, it's easy enough.
Like I said, I closed 3 people last week, and I'm not even 30% of the way through my list. So if I get 10 customers out of this, like that's a pretty big win. All for even $300. Like I'd take that all day.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's awesome. Okay, that definitely gets me thinking. I need to go dig into that and consider signing up for that. So that's awesome. Tell me about the Instagram, Instagram content in general, but maybe specifically, video content, like whether it's a green screen or maybe in person. is this something that you've started doing? Anything? What are your thoughts on prioritizing or putting real effort into Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely worth it, 100%. I know you had that
Yeah.
episode with Jacob last week, and
Yep.
he's kind of like, I would say, the pioneer of like
Hmm.
what I've seen in the space. I mean, him and Jazz like do a lot of stuff. Like Jacob's done like a lot of more of like the video style content. And
Yep.
basically what I'm doing is just like looking at his page and like seeing what's working for him and like trying to emulate it on my
Okay.
page, and it works well. So what works really well for me are like the green screen videos where I'll have like an image in the background, maybe three different images, and then just me kind of talking through each of those images for 10 seconds. So like a 30-second green screen. And then specifically around like new restaurants coming, or like when something closed down, what's going to take its space.
Yep.
Those like two types of videos, like there's a lot of stuff you can mention, but for some reason those two types seem to get better engagement than anything else I've done.
Okay.
And then also carousel ads have done really well too. My most viral ad ever has still been the carousel ad, so it's just like a bunch of images together with no video or anything.
Whoa.
So
Hang on one second. Are you saying the word? Are you saying ad? A carousel ad, like advertisement?
carousel post, sorry, carousel
Oh, okay.
post.
I was like, man, am I
Yes,
doing something wrong
I
here?
don't know why I
Okay.
said ad, but
Yeah, no
kind
worries.
of pull up.
Yeah, I think that's what Jazz had said is that he's mostly doing
Yeah,
carousels now.
yep.
How do you think about the difficulty of making those? Like, are those how long are they taking you? Are you doing them? Do you have somebody doing them? What are they about? Give me the basics there.
Yeah, so I have an intern doing the carousel posts. I hired her off of a platform called Handshake. So it's basically just a platform to where you can see people in college looking for internships. And I hired this girl to do the carousels. And she's really good, really creative. I pay her $400 a month, so like pretty affordable. And a lot of her carousels do well. And then for anything like video slash like green screen, like I'm just doing myself in addition to like what she's doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So I wanted to ask you about this too. I forgot. We did talk about this before for a little bit. So you hired an intern. So this is really interesting. This is something that I have wanted to do. I actually did do Handshake for a bit. I was just getting so many applicants who weren't in my area, and I just,
Hundreds.
yeah, it
Yeah.
gets pretty rough. But you're near obviously a big college at ASU, so that's pretty valuable.
Yep.
So tell me about this person. So you got her. You're paying her $400 a month.
Hmm.
What is she doing for you?
So she'll do anywhere from 3 to 4 carousel posts a week. Um, within a set number of formats, like usually she's doing like, she'll do like an events carousel for the week. So like I put the event list in the newsletter, and she's really good at like grabbing those and making them their own like image as a carousel. And she'll do like 5 or 6 events on that carousel. She'll cover usually like the date spot of the week that I put in the newsletter, and it's usually like a bar or a restaurant or some type of like activity. She'll make that a carousel post, or like also she'll do sometimes like new restaurants or new businesses opening for the month. She'll put that like so say like it's September 1st or September 2nd. She'll make a carousel like, hey, here's everything that's coming to Scottsdale in September, and those
Okay.
do really well. Those carousel
Oh,
posts
okay.
do really well every time.
That
And
is a
then
great idea.
also like a local business spotlight. Like sometimes she'll just grab like a local business that I talk about in the newsletter and then make a carousel for them.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
So she's pretty much only just making social media content for you, but not even video, just social media
yeah,
images essentially for you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Carousel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Um, yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah, that handshake system again, it can be annoying because you can get stuff from out of state. I think from what I remember though, I think there may have been a button that says like, do you only want it people near you? And I had turned it off because I didn't think I was going to get anybody. So I was like, I don't care where they're from. But
Mm,
then of course, a million, and then they usually don't respond as much when they're not actually there. They're probably just mass applying for things and
yeah.
that whole thing. But
So
but
you can
overall, it
select a
sounds like
university.
oh,
So
you can
like
pick a school. Okay.
I picked just
Yeah.
ASU only. Like
Yeah.
I'm an
Okay.
ASU alum. If I hire someone,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
want them to be an ASU alum. So yeah, I just picked
Yeah.
ASU only. And I
Yeah.
still got like honestly like 500 applications. A lot.
That's crazy.
But how she stood out is she found the Instagram page and DM'd the Instagram. Like a few people did that. And I just focused on them, and she just seemed like the most creative one. And I was like, oh, all right, you're hired.
It's amazing how little effort it takes to stand out and how few people do it. Like
Yeah,
I can't express how valuable what you just said is to do, and how relatively, I mean, that probably took her 3 minutes extra to
yeah,
do. Like that's all people have to do, and nobody does it. Like it's
yeah,
absolutely amazing seeing all these people. Every time I see it on TV, oh, I've applied for 400 jobs and I haven't gotten one message back. I'm like, okay, but did you DM or find the email of any of them yet? Like
yeah.
I guarantee you the answer is no to all of them. Right.
Go find them on Twitter and DM them, like, or
That's it.
LinkedIn. You know.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, awesome. Well, it's good to know. So you really are focusing on Instagram. Have you had
Yeah.
advertisers talk about it
Yeah.
or
Yeah. I've had a
ask about
few.
it?
Yeah. Pretty much everyone asks about it, I would say, in general. There's such an appetite for businesses to have some type of presence on social media, and they all want like an Instagram presence. So usually every sponsor will ask about the Instagram. I'll kind of shy them away just because like what I've noticed is like when I do like a sponsor deal, like I don't know how to make them quite as entertaining yet, like that Jacob does. So they don't get the engagement. And then I just kind of feel bad. So lately I've just been like pushing people away from sponsoring the Instagram for now. While I kind of just like figure out a way to be a little more creative on that front. Just because I don't want to like burn their advertising dollars. Yeah, I mean everyone has, right? And I think businesses want it, and it's just a really good way to be like
Yeah,
you can see your Instagram, but you can't see how many subscribers you have.
100%. That is such a big thing. I mean, it keeps coming back to um, you have to be able to express your value in a way that business owners can understand, right? And
Yeah,
unfortunately, the email newsletter thing is just not something that is normal for them or is on their radar because it is so new, right? So
yep,
again, I was talking to a very successful local business owner on Twitter, very well known, and he has a local newsletter. I don't think he talks about it very much, but we were talking about the value of what we do. His newsletter already has like 25,000 subscribers. He just started like relatively recently. He throws a lot of money at it, but talking
yeah,
about the value of our business essentially versus these local magazines. And
oh
I was
yeah,
asking him about it, and he's just like, I know how bad these local magazines are because I advertise in them because he
yep,
has a plumbing company, right? He's like, they cost a fortune and they're not that good, but at the same time, when you're a massive business, local business, you just kind of are willing to put ads everywhere because you just need your name out there. You've got massive amount, 6-figure marketing budgets. Like you gotta spend somewhere, right?
right,
And they're just not very good. But business owners don't understand our model that well, and that's why I feel like sales for us so much is education, right? And
yeah,
explaining. I hate to say it, but it is kind of beating up the competition, right? Which is like, well, they told you they're going to get you 40,000 impressions with their magazine, but think
how do you
about this
know?
logically. First of all, how do you know? It doesn't even make sense, right? Like, how many did
Right,
they say they're going to mail out? Oh, like 3,500 magazines. Okay, what are we talking about here? That's not going to happen, right? They're just giving
yeah,
you their best hope that is off by a factor of 10,
and
right?
not even trackable. You have no
And
no
not trackable.
insight
Yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah, exactly.
It's a black
So,
box. Yeah.
yeah,
I talked to a gym sponsored my newsletter a few issues last month, and he said the local magazine here, I think they started at 17 grand. It's like 17 grand was like their lowest package.
and that was for what, like probably a quarter of a page, like on page 28 or something,
Yeah,
right? Like,
I mean it was over
no,
like 6, 7 months. Like it was long.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, and he's just like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
yeah. It
It's
doesn't.
like,
And
holy,
we're the best alternative, and especially for reasonably priced, right? We're not charging crazy numbers like that.
yeah,
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 yeah, awesome. Okay, so just real quick on social media, I wanted to get your take on this, or if you think you're doing good at this, is just thinking about consistency, right? Because I know I think Jacob talked about this, and a few others have. Because you even just mentioned it, right? Some of your stuff is just doesn't work, right? Or it doesn't get a
hmm,
ton of engagement per video. But the thing that makes social media in some ways better, but also in some ways worse, but in this case specifically better, is sometimes you might just have that one that pops off,
yeah,
right? And
yep.
so the way you find the one that pops off is by doing it consistently. So you're giving yourself more opportunity, taking more shots on goal, right? I mean, how do you think about that?
Yeah. So the very first Instagram post I had that went viral was like a carousel ad for like a Blue Zone certified grocery store coming. Something so small, and like I didn't even have pictures of inside the store. I just had like outside Google pictures. And we were posting like we I try to post at least once a day. It's not always that consistent, but I'll at least get 5 posts out a week at least. Um, but yeah, this one post got me 1,500 followers, just one. It was like every time I'm opening the Instagram app, like every few minutes, like 30, 20, like, and I was just like, this is crazy. Like, and it just kept going for days. For
That's what happens.
days.
I was talking to somebody else last week who had the same thing happen, and it was like a text type post. It was actually, I think, a bunch of guys that made it. Actually, I wonder if you did. It was one of these like jokes about like when the sun dies, the something locally won't have been done yet. Have you seen people post about that?
I I've never done one, but I've seen this.
Oh, you've
Yeah.
seen that, yeah. So he is just like a text thing. He's like, "Oh, I need to throw something up real quick," and he's like, "I spent 2 minutes on it." And he basically copied Jacob or whoever had first
Yep.
started that,
Jacob, I've seen Jacob
and
do that.
he did, yeah. And he got over 2,000 subscribers from it, and he had like 4 at the time, so like
Yep.
a 50% bump in subscribers from this one silly post.
Yeah.
I remember when I first saw that a month or two ago, whenever he posted that, and I meant to do it, and I of course forgot and didn't do it. So regretting that now. Maybe I should do it now. But
Yeah.
you just
I
don't
want to see
know
what
if you
he
don't
did.
do these. What's that?
I'd be interested to see like what he did because I think like something like that could land here. There's like a busy road called Scottsdale Road here in Scottsdale, and it's like always
Yeah.
under construction. It's always down
hmm
to one lane.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
I feel
think
like
that would probably work there. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. So what else? What have we not chatted about that's new with you? I know. When was the last time we talked? Was it like a couple months ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a
On
few
here.
months.
So yeah. Yeah. So what else is new? What have you been thinking more about? Anything you want to share with people?
Yeah, I think, we brought it up, but like just leaning into events, and
Okay.
kind of
Yeah.
coupling those. So like the way that I'm pitching these events now, like with that wealth management company, is like, hey, like you have to do at least 2 newsletter ads. You have to pay for them before like I'll do an event with you. So
hmm
we'll put that all in one package. But, like you're gonna pay for the
Oh
two
yeah.
newsletter ads and you get the event for X amount.
hmm hmm
So just kind of like coupling that and using that as a leverage, like another touch point with the audience, like, hey, you're getting in front of them digitally twice, and then we can, invite all those that are interested, and you can get in front of them physically too.
hmm
So really leaning into just like how to make events work. I've been meeting with like a lot of event spaces, like little breweries and stuff around that would be open to having events, not necessarily sponsoring them, but they've been like, hey, sure, you can use our place, like we won't charge you anything. So I've been making kind of those connections, just trying to find like more of these venues that could host for free. So really leaning into events, really focusing on the socials and outside of that, just like trying to monetize.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
challenge with
Have you?
anyone is monetization.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Have you? I know you. So you're doing cold email. Are you still doing the like DMs on Instagram or wherever else? You doing that as well?
Yeah. Yeah. Still doing the
So.
DMs. I'm trying to put together a freaking VIP card, like 10
Oh, that's right.
restaurants, like a physical card.
Yep.
It's so hard here. These damn restaurants
Yeah.
don't want it. Like I've gotten
Yeah.
5, and I've been doing it for a month.
Wow. Yeah.
And like most of them are like, no, we don't need a discount. We don't need like people to come. It's like we're
Yeah.
full.
Yeah. I,
Damn.
I know this, people have talked about these for a while. Some people have had some success with them. I feel like a lot of people have not. To me, it's just always been, at least in the short term, just seem like more work than it's worth. Even if you pull it off, it
Yeah.
seems like it's just so much effort that isn't worth it. I mean, the way I think about it is I think there's definitely something there, but I also think the success will come for something like that so much more when you really are a name brand in town, when like you don't have to tell people who you are, when they kind of know who you
Right.
are. That's when
Yep.
that kind of thing can really take off. I think when people still don't know who you are, you're still relatively new. I mean, and also a place like Scottsdale just may not be the best because it is so busy relatively. There's so much competition, I guess I would say. Like maybe if you're in a town of 50,000 where nobody's doing this, it might be a
Hmm.
bit easier. But yeah, I mean, the way I'm thinking about it is I'm just going to wait longer until I become more known because I don't want to
Yeah.
put in all that work and constantly be told no.
Yeah,
But I don't
I
blame you
think
for trying. Doesn't mean people shouldn't try, but that's how I see
yeah,
it.
I think that so far the juice is not worth the squeeze there. So
Yeah,
maybe someone
absolutely.
like I think to your point, like once I
Exactly.
get bigger and like have more of a brand presence, yeah, I think it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now it's like just a lot of work. I'm like, damn, I've only got five.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Hey, what? By the way, did you see? I have not watched it. I don't even know if I'm going to. I should, but that Chris Kerner. You know who Chris Kerner is?
Yeah.
Okay. So for everybody listening, he's like a really big kind of entrepreneurial figure in on social media. He's got his own podcast, Twitter, whatever. He's everywhere for entrepreneurial content. He just hosted. So he's one of the biggest business podcasters out there. I think at this point, his show is
Yeah.
massive. Um, and he just had Jazz on last week
Yep.
talking about local newsletters. And again, I haven't listened to it, but I know what Jazz is doing because he's been on here a bunch. His big thing right now that he's focused on is the Christmas lights
The
business that
lights.
he's launching.
Yeah.
So you know about this, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess just curious, and we may have talked about this a few months ago, so I apologize if we did. I can't remember, but have you been thinking more about building businesses on the back end of the newsletter, doing something like a Christmas light type business, a home service business, or in my case, like digital marketing? Have you done much or thought much about what you would do outside of just the newsletter itself?
Yeah. I'm always thinking through like ways how to monetize, or I guess like use the newsletters like a jump, like a launch pad for something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Christmas lights doesn't make too much sense in my area. Like there's other really big players here, and there's already a guy that is huge on X and has like his own Christmas light installation coaching like course. Like they're already huge. Like
Oh,
I'm
he's
like, oh,
there.
I don't
I
want to.
think Jazz
Yeah,
took a course from somebody. I wonder if that's the guy.
it might have been him,
It might be.
but
Yeah.
he's here. So like they have
Okay.
trucks like wrapped in it. Like they go all out. And I was
Oh,
like,
it's like a
okay,
bigger.
like I don't
Okay.
want to go compete with them now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there is like this is the step one. Build the audience,
Mm-hmm.
get ingrained in the community, build the trust. Step two is going to be launching some type of business, whether it's an agency, whether it's like a home service type company. Definitely open to that. I think that's kind of the massive upside we have is like scaling some type of business and using this as a free marketing channel to do so, where like the multiples are a lot more favorable than the multiples on the newsletter. Multiples on the newsletter traditionally aren't very good
Yeah.
in terms of revenue. So like, I would just keep this as the launch pad, build something else that hits a way higher multiple on the next it, and like try to scale that and exit eventually.
Yeah. So basically, you are thinking this way. You just haven't kind of landed on anything
Yeah.
at all yet.
Yeah. And like my
Yeah.
audience is still small. I have 7,500 subs. Like,
Yeah.
maybe once I hit 30,000 subs, like this might be a little more feasible. Like that would be a
Mm-hmm.
good time because the distribution is going to be good. But like at 7,500 subs, I'm like, yeah, I feel like I can just grow this. Like,
Yeah. 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 For sure. I mean, I wonder if there's even um, plays that are kind of in between, right? So, for example, the obvious one with Christmas lights, it may not work in your area because you have crazy competition, but that's not the case in most places, I think. Is instead of just building the business directly, it's kind of partner with someone, right? Just take a referral fee per lead. So, like, that way it's a
yeah,
win-win for them. As long as you get in front of them, they'll probably say yes because there's no cost to them if you fail, right? And so
yeah,
then that way you kind of get in with them and see how many leads are coming, see what, hopefully learn some from that person, right? What their cost is, how they're doing business, and kind of prepare for the next year, right? Or
hmm
what can you do that with other potential businesses,
yeah.
right?
You bring up a really good, I guess, like segue into like what I am like really not focused on, but what I focus on. And it's monetizing like my welcome flow. So every time
Yeah.
someone subscribes to my newsletter, I have a subscriber survey that pops up and it collects some demographic data from them, like their age, location, income, what their interests are, like stuff that it just helps me sell sponsorships. But then they get a welcome email as well. And they only get one right now. I don't mind pushing it up to two or three if I find like some type of partner to monetize that. But I really, really want to monetize that welcome flow. Whether it's from a CPL perspective, whether it's from like a flat 2 to 3K a month like sponsorship, I need to find a way to monetize that. I just don't know who or how. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, think that's a really big opportunity for anyone because like, if we're running ads, we're always getting sales and welcome emails
Yeah,
going out all
it's
day.
constant.
Yeah.
100%. So I think I've mentioned this on a couple podcasts lately. I'm obsessed with trying to figure this out as well. I have not yet. Again, I think there is multiple steps to it, right? It's number one, you have to have the right partner to monetize it. So without that, I mean, and then once you do, you still got to do it the right way, right? Because you don't want to just send them a straight up pitch. So you kind of have to, figure out in a way to make it less direct pitchy. I mean, you can pitch people, but try to add value first, right? And so coming up with that plan once you have the advertiser. So I have not passed step one, so I haven't thought too deeply about how I'm going to do it yet. Although I will say one thing, this might be interesting to people. And again, I don't want to get too excited here because this may not be what they meant. But so Tyler from Beehive said that they're launching like a top-notch automation system soon. Like I think he said October, so like very very soon. And again, it's like somebody asked him, like, don't you guys already have automations already? He's like, yeah, but they're just kind of like normal, basic. Like, we're going to have just like an amazing system soon. And what I think, so I talked to another.
Like gated content, like if they sign up in this section, like they get gated content automatically or automatically?
I'm not, so I'm not 100% sure. Again, he didn't say what it was, but at literally the same day he posted that, which was last week or 2 weeks ago, I chatted with a really smart newsletter guy. You might even know who he is. I don't want to say right now, but like, really big newsletter agency guy, just general newsletters, right? Not local. And what they do on their surveys, so after the subscriber flow, when you sign up and it takes you to the survey, like right now I'm just using the Beehive survey, right? Which exactly. So people can answer the questions, but your system has that information, but you can't do anything with it on the spot, essentially. So what they do is they use a system called Uform, which I guess is like Jotform or whatever, Google Forms. And in that system, it's like a dynamic form, meaning if somebody were, so let's just use an obvious example. I don't know if this is a good idea, but just to make it easy, if you put on your form, hey, are you interested in buying or selling a home today? Okay, we do that. And we get about 2% of people say yes to that, 1 to 2%, right? Which sounds about right for the population. So if somebody clicks on that, you could immediately send them to a specific page about your realtor partner and how great they are. And hey, you should call our realtor partner, Joe. He crushes it, blah, blah, blah. Like you could do that inside the form, right? Like instantly, like you're sending them to an offer based on what they click. Now, I'm sure there's downsides to this as well. Like, okay, well, what about the rest of the form? Maybe it's when they finish the form, it goes to that page. I don't know all the details yet, but you can see where the value would be there. Or even a better example, the real estate one's a bit more direct and obvious. But let's say, so I'm as a former insurance person, let's say an insurance advertiser came to me and said, TJ, if this person says they make over 100K and they own their home, they're an ideal client for me. So then I could go in the on the back end of the form and say, if anybody clicks that they're a homeowner and they make 100K, at the end of the form, I want you to take them to a page pitching my insurance partner, right? Or if they're a woman over the age of 40, I want you to take them to a med spa page, right? And that you can do all of this and have all this internal logic and send them to the offer based on what you said before. So this may not, I believe this is true on Uform today. I'm assuming and hoping this is what Tyler means that they're incorporating in their new system, which could be really powerful for us.
So that would be sick. Sending them to a specific page. Like, what's funny is I threw a tweet up last week and I was like, who's monetizing their welcome flow like effectively? And I don't think anyone is in the newsletter space, like our local newsletter space. But one guy responded. I try to see who it was. I got to get back to it because I was going to respond to his response. But he kind of had the same idea of like, hey, if you're a homeowner, like I want to send them to this page. If you're like this, if you own a motorcycle, I want to send you like an injury lawyer, like that. And I was like, okay, like that's a good idea of like having this segmentation based on like what people are selecting. Some downsides, of course, like with the rest of the form, if you have to post it on a third-party website, like what happens with the traffic. But it's
if Beehive incorporates this,
and also like you'd have to find partners for each one. But I think it's good because it's a little more tailored, a little more specialized.
Yeah, the advertisers would love that. Yeah, so that's the values that the advertisers would really appreciate it, and then it'd be a great selling point. Like, hey, if anybody says this and this, they're immediately going to see your page. Like that would be, they would love that. And then the other key here, which I've heard, I know the Spark Loop guy talks about this a lot, is the time people are most engaged to take you up on your offers is when they first sign up, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why this makes so much more sense rather than saying, oh, okay, I found out you own a home and you make over 100K. 3 weeks later, I'm going to have a segmented email go out to you saying, hey, Joe, blah, blah, blah. Like the odds of people taking that is way lower than if it's on the spot. And you don't even have to look very far to believe this, which is many people do that for their surveys, right? They just
Right.
either in the welcome email or somewhere else, they say, hey, would you like to take my survey? And the take rate is like 2%, right? Yet for us, when we do it immediately following they subscribe, it goes to that page immediately. Our take rate is 50% or higher. I think one of my newsletters is
Yeah.
75% take rate. So
Yep.
it's just obvious that when people sign up, when they're most engaged, and that's when you want to put the offers in front of them because their odds of taking it are much, much higher then. So
Yeah.
this should be big for us.
Yeah. I think if there's a way to like figure this out, even on a CPL basis, like $20 a lead, like I don't know what makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to probably start small to prove it
Yeah.
out, but
Yeah.
there's so much that's another channel for you to monetize that's on the back end, and it's not eating your inventory for your ad space, because that ad space is
Mm-hmm.
fine. That's the challenge of
Yep.
a newsletter, is fine inventory.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, doing the per lead cost, I mean, that makes so much sense, especially if the tech was there where the site, it's all like you get notified when somebody fills out the form. So you know what to charge that person, how many people filled it out. Um,
Especially because we can
you
get
know,
leads or email subscribers too for like lower cost.
yeah.
30 to 50 cents we're getting subscribers for. And if you can monetize those like right off the bat, like you effectively like infinite growth with like less of like that cash back. Or what is the cash conversion cycle or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Basically the
Yeah.
time it
Or
takes for a new sub to be
negative CAC.
monetized. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, what you're describing is what the Spark Loop guy, I'm forgetting his name. I apologize. He's a smart dude. Oh, Louis. Yeah. Louis from Spark Loop. Um, if you can, what you just said makes perfect sense, right? If our cost is 50 cents, right, to get a subscriber, and I'm making up numbers here just to make it easy, but say 1 out of every 10 people will take you up on a lead, and you make, or like they'll subscribe to something and you make $5 for that lead. Well, now your cost of acquisition is zero,
Yes.
right? So
Yep.
you could just 5x your spend. I mean, I know it doesn't literally work this way, even with Meta, that your costs go up, but whatever. You get the picture of like,
Yeah.
if you can know that you're getting a negative CAC or break even, or you're getting paid back or making money within 7 days, you can just have an unlimited budget if you want, like on
Yeah.
acquisition. And
And then all of a sudden the
that's
path
that.
to 50,000 subscribers seems pretty doable at that. You
Yeah.
can just pour the money on the ads.
And this was kind of the hope of SparkLoop, which again, I do think SparkLoop, I know Chris Kerner, speaking of him, he loves SparkLoop. It works really well for him in his B2B, entrepreneur newsletter. But I think, most of our experience that I've heard from people, including myself, who've tried it for local, it just doesn't work well with local because of our audience, right? We don't have that
Yeah.
type of audience. So that concept, while the concept makes sense, SparkLoop is not the solution in its current form. But what we just discussed could be the same thing, right? Getting you to
Mm-hmm.
the negative CAC model with immediately or within 7 days. I mean, it'd be amazing. So
Yeah.
again, so much opportunity in how this tech can be built for us while we're already doing it, right? Like Beehive might hopefully building this right now and it comes out next month and then we can leverage it. Would be amazing.
Yeah. I want to
Yeah.
give a shout out too. Like, sure, Beehive has some shortcomings, but like I've noticed their team just ships like new features like pretty
Yeah.
quick. Like as soon as they see the
Yeah.
need, like that feature is dropping soon. Um, it's
Yeah.
cool. That was kind of like the main
Yeah.
reason I went to Beehive over like Kit or like MailChimp. Like I just saw them on Twitter. They were always shipping stuff. They're always fixing stuff. And I was like, okay, like I'm going to build my newsletter on this.
He definitely is one of the best out there for what they call founder-led marketing, right? Which is where you just
Yeah.
use your personal brand to market your business. He crushes it with that. And then the other key, I think, is that they've raised a ton and they're just like, yeah, they're taking that money and hiring people and just growing as fast as they can. And the best way for them to grow is just keep building more and more of what people want.
Yep.
And yeah, I talked to Sam from Enterprise over there this morning because I might be moving to the Enterprise plan, and
Dang.
he was telling me this. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost paying enterprise pricing already, so I might as well get an account
Yeah.
manager. But they've got a bunch of stuff coming this quarter. Like he didn't give me all the bunch of details, but like they've got a lot of stuff coming this quarter. So people should be ready to learn more features and more tools and more ways you can leverage that platform for success.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
And if anybody's going to subscribe to it, use my link, because don't try to help me, you'll save 20%. So
I was gonna say, if you do SmartLead, use my link too.
there you go. Actually, give it to me, because I might. Yeah, seriously, if anybody's gonna do SmartLead, which it sounds like they should, give me your link and I'll put it in the comments. Everybody go use his. He'll shout you out and help you.
Appreciate
Sorry,
it.
I just signed you up to help people.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
no, I'm happy.
John. Yeah, no, that's great. This has been awesome, John, as usual. So great chatting with you and learning everything you're up to, because I love what you're doing. You're super smart in the space. Great area, taking a lot of shots on goal, and I love it. So and we'll definitely have to have you back relatively soon to hear about the event.
I was gonna say, let me get through some events and see how they go. I'm sure I'm gonna mess up somewhere along the way and like have some learning of like, don't do this. So yeah,
that would be valuable. Yeah, you will. I'm sure you will, and I'm sure you'll also succeed in the big picture. Right? You'll have the small missteps or failures, and then the big picture, it's going to succeed big time. So that's awesome.
yeah.
All right. If anybody want to reach out to you, what's the best place, or do you want anybody to reach out to you?
Yeah, feel free. Twitter's the best space. I'm pretty active on there, just kind of sharing like what I'm learning too, and just what I'm focused on. So I think my Twitter it's John Apolinar. If you want to like link that, feel free to. I'll send you the link. But yeah, look me up on Twitter, and usually pretty good to respond.
Yeah, awesome. All right, thanks, John. Talk to you later.
Yeah, thank you, man. Take care.
Yep.